At the beginning of this episode, we see that Fong returns home, and soon after his stepmother comes to see him and asks about Ollie. Fong has no idea where Ollie is. Then his stepmother brings up memories of his mother, which upsets Fong. He asks her to leave. Just then, John arrives and gives Fong some medicine, which gives him a bit of relief. John says the doctor thinks Xiai might be able to help you. Should we call her here? But Fun replies, finding Ollie is more important than Xiaowei right now. Tomorrow is the last day of the exhibition. Meanwhile, Ollie is busy finishing his painting. Xiai shows up with food. Ollie tells her that his painting is almost done and asks her to keep an eye on the door to make sure no one comes in. While Ollie works, Fong tries calling him, and Xiaowei answers the phone. Fong says, "Tell Ollie to meet Fimler right away. He's about to leave. We have to stop him." Xiaowei responds, "I'll stop Fimler." Ollie can finish the painting. Xiaowei rushes off on her scooter to stop Fimler. As she follows his car, she suddenly swerves in front of him and pretends to have an accident so that he'll stop. When Fimler gets out to check, he finds Xiaowei lying in front of his car. Just then, Fong and Ollie arrive at the scene. Fong is worried about Xiaowei, but she signals to him that she's only pretending. Then she tells Ollie to show his painting to Fimler. Ollie shows him the painting, and Fimler is really impressed. After that, Fong asks Xiaowei, "Why are you doing all this?" She replies, "Because we can go further together. It's hard to move forward alone." Everyone is happy after that. Then Fong puts Ollie in a different car and sends him home. Then Xiaowei and Fong continue driving, and Fong asks Xiaowei, "Will you be my girlfriend?" Hearing this, Xiaowei becomes lost in thought. She doesn't understand why Fong is saying that. Then her friend tells her, "You have to attract him. Only then will he want you to be his girlfriend." Later, Xiaowei goes to a restaurant and tells Miss Chai that Fong proposed to her. Miss Chai advises her and says, "Date him for a few days, get to know him, and then decide." Xiaowei agrees. Meanwhile, Fong keeps thinking about Xiaowei. When he gets to the office, he can't focus on anything except her. Around the same time, Xiaowei starts feeling like her signal device is activating. She ends up trapped in the middle of the road. Suddenly, she finds herself stuck between cars and crouches down in fear. Just then, Fong arrives and sees Xiaowei. He rushes over to her and scolds her. "Why are you sitting here? This is so dangerous." But Xiaowei is in shock and doesn't really hear what he's saying. Later, Xiai goes to Fong's company where she finds out that the signal device is in Fong's office. She tries to get into the lab but can't get inside. She turns back wondering how to get in. Xiaowei asks Ollie for help, but the secretary doesn't let them in without an ID. Still, they sneak in quietly. Xiaowei starts searching in the lab but doesn't find anything. Then Fong shows up and angrily scolds them for entering the research lab without permission. Ollie covers for them, saying he needed to do some painting, which makes Fong even more upset. Then Fong asks Xiai if she's thought about his proposal. Xiai says she hasn't really made up her mind. Hearing that, Fong asks, "Are you rejecting me because of Ali?" Xiaowei quickly replies, "It's nothing like that," which makes Fong happy, and he starts trying to impress her. Meanwhile, John gives Fong some advice about love, which surprises him. Then we see Xiai working at the restaurant when Fong suddenly shows up. She's shocked to see him because he brought her flowers and asks, "Are you free today?" Xiai replies, "No, I have work." Fong smiles and quietly leaves. Miss Zhang visits Fong. She gives him a schedule for an upcoming art exhibition and asks, "Can we meet tomorrow?" "I'm free." Fong replies, "I have a meeting tomorrow, maybe some other time." Miss Zhang leaves. Then Ali visits Xiai and tells her he has a way to help her find what she's looking for. Xiai turns him down because she can't feel his energy. Ali then says, "At least describe to me what the announcer device looks like. I'll paint it." Xiai explains it to him, and he starts painting. Just then, an order comes in from Fong's office for 1,000 copies. Ollie and Shachi work together to complete the order and end up exhausted. Xiai then takes the copies to Fong's office. She tells John, "Give these to Fong," but John replies, "I'm busy. You do it." So Shachi goes to Fong and hands in the copies. Fong looks at her and asks, "Do you love me?" Shachi replies, "No, I don't love you. One day I'll leave this place." Fong says, "All right, I won't bother you anymore." Xiai leaves, but outside she can't stop thinking about him. Sometime later, Fong visits a doctor. The doctor asks, "What's wrong?" Fong says, "You told me about some medicine that could help. Please give me those." The doctor warns him about the side effects, but Fong insists. Then John goes to Xiaowei and tells her about Fong's illness, saying only you can help him. Xiai starts thinking about Fong. Soon Fong's stepmother tells his father about his illness. His father confronts him, asking, "Why didn't you tell me you're sick?" Just then, Xiai arrives and says, "Fong took that medicine because of me." Fong's stepmother asks Xiai, "Who are you?" Xiai replies, "I'm Fong's girlfriend." Shocked, she says, "But just a few days ago, you said Miss Zhang was your girlfriend. Now you've changed her." Later, Fong's mother and brother secretly plot against him, and Ollie overhears everything. Fong then asks Xiai, "Why did you come? You don't even like me." Xiai explains that John told her about Fong's illness and said only she could help. Xiai offers, "I'll pretend to be your girlfriend." Fun asks, "What do you want in return?" Xiai answers, "Nothing, I'm leaving in a few days anyway." Afterward, Fong drops Xiaowei off at home. Alone, she starts wondering, why am I pretending to be the girlfriend of someone whose family could ruin my reputation? She gets anxious, then says, "I can't just leave phone. And I still haven't found the announcer device. Her assistant Kubri advises her, now that you're his girlfriend, try to find the device in his office. Shiai agrees. The next morning, Shiai wakes up early and goes to Fong. He opens up about his family and warns her to stay away from Ollie and especially his mother. Then he asks about her own family. Shiai says, I came from an egg, which shocks Fong. She adds, I'm an orphan, which moves him emotionally. Later, Shiai meets Miss Chai and tells her she's quitting her job. Miss Chai is happy she thinks Shiai and Fong are getting married. Meanwhile, Ollie meets Miss Jang and asks how her relationship with Fong is going. Jang says he's too busy and they haven't met in a while. She then asks Ollie if there's someone else in Fong's life. Ollie replies, if there is, it's because he's not the right one for you. He's hurt you before. Jang asks, have you ever truly loved someone? If you had, you'd understand me. She leaves. Fong brings Shachi home to meet his father, but Ali's mother interrupts, saying their father only wants to see Fong. As Fong goes in, she takes Shiai away. Inside, Fong's father scolds him, while outside, Oi's mother tells Xiaoqi, you don't love Fong, you love what he represents. Fun comes out and tells Shiai, I want to marry you, but my dad won't agree. He adds, well, have to meet in secret from now on. Shiai smiles, but as she struggles to walk in high heels, Fong picks her up and they walk off together. Shiai arrives at Fong's office where she meets John. John tells her that Fong is currently in a meeting, but assures her that once he's free, he'll introduce them. A little while later, Fong comes out of the meeting, and as soon as Xiaowei sees him, she finds herself drawn to him. Not long after, Fong calls Xiaowei and asks her to bring a file from her desk to his office. When she arrives, they chat, and Shiai mentions that she wants to work in the research department. Fong reassures her that he'll make sure she gets a position there. Later, Fong takes Shiai out for dinner, and the two enjoy their meal together. After dinner, Jang shows up and asks Shiai, what are you doing with Fong? Xiaowei replies, I'm his secretary now. Fong then says, it's time to go. Jang complains that it's too late and she won't be able to find a ride. She asks if Fong can drop her home. Xiaowei steps in and says, we'll go home together. The three of them then leave. On the way, Fong and Jang talk. Jang says, your parents like me. Fong tells her he needs to have an important conversation. After dropping Shai off, Fong tells Jang, forget about our blind date. I don't love you. I don't have any special feelings for you. And with that, he leaves. Shai accidentally leaves her phone in Fong's car. Fong brings it back to her along with some medicine. When he gives it to her, Xiaowei says, don't take such good care of me. If I get used to it, Fong interrupts, I won't let you get used to it. Later, Xiai heads to the office while Fong watches her from a distance. Fong tells John to assign her to the research department. John hands her a file and she makes her way to the department where she feels a bit out of place. While she's there, an employee named Alan approaches and asks her about the announcement device. She shows it to him and quietly takes it with her. Just then, Fong arrives and the two leave together for an exhibition. At the exhibition, a crowd gathers. When Fong and Xiaowei arrive, Jang shows up and says she needs to talk to Fong. Xiai steps aside. Jang asks, can we go on one more blind date? Fong declines. Jang responds, fine, then let's just be friends. Meanwhile, Ali comes over to Xiaowei and asks, so, what did you think of the exhibition? Smiling, Xiaowei replies, it was nice. Suddenly, Alan shows up and accuses Xiaowei of stealing the announcement device. Fong is shocked and says, that's not possible. Nervous, Shai starts to run, but Fong stops her and says, if you took it, just tell me. I'll forgive you. Alan insists her bag should be checked, but Fong snaps. No one touches Xiaowei. Xiai opens her bag, shows it, and silently walks away. Fong softly says, I'm sorry. Xiai turns around and replies, it's okay. Afterwards, Xiai hides the device somewhere inside the exhibition. Fong's father scolds Ali's mother for plotting against Fong. Jang asks Ali, what's going on between Fong and Xiaowei? Ali responds, I don't know anything. Suddenly, a fire breaks out at the exhibition, and everything is destroyed. Xiai rushes in looking for Ali, but faints due to the smoke. This is where the episode comes to an end, and to watch the next episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel and do not forget to press the bell icon.